in the valley of Allah, a shadow loomed, cast by a figure of immense dread. He was Goliath, a champion clad in bronze, his spear like a weaver's beam. He stood over 9 feet tall, a mountain of muscle and menace, his voice a thunderous roar that echoed across the hills, mocking the armies of Israel. Before him, seasoned soldiers, men of war and valor, trembled. They hid behind rocks and in trenches, their courage melting away like wax in the sun. The sheer scale of the threat was paralyzing. A single man holding an entire army captive by fear alone. His challenge rang out day after day, a constant, demoralizing drumbeat of hopelessness against the silent, terrified ranks of Israel. Into this scene of despair walked an unlikely figure. A young shepherd named David, sent by his father to bring food to his brothers on the front lines. He was not a warrior. His hands were accustomed to a shepherd's staff and a harp, not a sword and shield. Yet, as he saw the fear gripping the soldiers and heard the giants' blasphemous taunts against his God, something stirred within him. While the mightiest warriors of Israel saw an unbeatable giant, David saw an uncircumcised Philistine defying the armies of the living God. His expression was not one of fear, but of righteous indignation and unwavering faith, a stark and startling contrast to the terror that surrounded him. His conviction led him before King Saul, who, impressed by the boy's spirit but skeptical of his chances, offered his own royal armor. They placed the heavy bronze helmet on David's head and strapped the cumbersome coat of mail to his small frame. The sight was almost comical. The young shepherd was swallowed by the gear, unable to move freely. He shrugged it off. "I cannot go in these," he declared, "for I am not used to them." Instead, he walked to a nearby brook and chose 5 smooth stones, simple and small, placing them in his shepherd's bag. This was a deliberate choice, a powerful visual declaration that his trust was not in the weapons of man, but in the power of God. His arsenal was faith. The standoff was a spectacle of contrasts. On one side stood Goliath, the epitome of worldly power, a hulking behemoth encased in impenetrable armor, sneering with contempt at the approaching boy. On the other, David, armed with only a sling and a few stones, his face a mask of calm focus and divine determination. A wide shot would capture the immense, almost absurd physical disparity between them. The lone small shepherd facing the giant warrior was a visual testament to the battle at hand. The physical versus the spiritual. Brute force versus unshakable faith. Goliath cursed David by his gods, promising to feed his flesh to the birds, but David's reply was a prophecy of victory, spoken with the certainty of one who knows he does not fight alone. The climax was shockingly swift. David placed a stone in his sling and began to whirl it. The air whistled. With a single precise shot, the small stone flew through the air and embedded itself in the giant's forehead, the only unprotected part of his body. The behemoth staggered, his eyes wide with disbelief, before crashing to the ground with a thunderous thud that shook the valley. The seemingly invincible giant was felled by a simple shepherd boy and a small stone. The victory was not a feat of human strength or military strategy. It was a divine intervention, a clear and stunning demonstration that God's power can work through the most humble of means. The image of David standing over the fallen giant became a symbol for all time. The once cowering Israelite army, now emboldened, surged forward to rout the Philistines. The story concludes not just with the death of a giant, but with a profound lesson. With God, the small can overcome the great. The weak can conquer the strong. It teaches us that the size of our challenges pales in comparison to the greatness of our faith, and that even a small act of trust can bring down the most imposing giants in our lives.